Hello lovely Pisceans, I always look forward to doing your reading because as a Pisces with Pisces rising, this is my chance to have the mad hair. And today I've got like, it's really difficult on a camera because it's the other way around. I know, as if that isn't Pisces enough already. I've got this weird flick, run out of dry shampoo, kind of tugged a brush through it. I'm like, it's Pisces, we're all good. I am wearing a slightly Pisces-y type t-shirt because I thought we would appreciate a dandelion clock. So let me know in the comments section, do you have not untamable hair, but I think that Pisces has hair that never quite looks the same. Sort of seems to have a life of its own in some weird way. Like when I was younger, my hair was very fine and straight. And then it kind of got wavy and thick, and then it got kind of curly, and when it rained it sort of went really big, and now it's back to being more like fine. I'm like, but that can also happen throughout one day. It can go through different seasons. I'm curious, Pisces, let me know. And also, this is something else I want to know. This is like chatting in a big group of Pisceans. Let me know, this is another theory I have about Pisces. Let me know when someone takes a picture of you, like particularly a portrait or a face or whatever, do you always never quite look at all sort of like yourself? Ever? Apart from maybe 3 times in your whole life. Let me know about that. If you know, you'll know. Right, let's take some cards for you, lovely Pisces. We're going to take 2 overall energy cards. Oh my God, that's nice. We're using an autumn tarot because it's kind of autumn here in the UK. Autumn Fields Tarot we're using. Okay, there will be an extended reading, so that is the love reading. We do your cards and then there's some love cards in this reading, and then at the end, if it really resonates, there's an extended love reading where it's much more Piscean actually. We do an awful lot of channeling, get out all different decks, love decks, weird decks, and do some weird stuff. Yeah, channeling and whatnot. So if you want that, it's the first link in the description box at the end. Okay, you've got the 5 of Swords, which is Venus in Aquarius, and you've also got the Ace of Cups. Love me a bit of Ace of Cups. You've got an autumnal Ace of Cups. Very, very, very nice energy to get the Ace of Cups. But we're getting it with the 5 of Swords, which is Venus in Aquarius. 5 of Swords or Venus in Aquarius, which is the aspect for that card, is an aspect of emotional distance. So, you're a Pisces. You've got 2 fish swimming in different directions, like this. And they're normally in contrast to each other in some way. And this opposition, and yet they have a thread that kind of umbilically holds them together. This opposition creates this tension of what it is to be a Pisces. And if you think of these 2 cards, with the 5 of Swords being a card of sort of stepping back and a card of detachment, that's one fish. And then we think of the Ace of Cups as a card of emotional fulfillment and new relationship. And I think of it as kind of self-love, where you're filling up this self-love fountain to the point that it then spills over to others. Okay? Those 2 are kind of working together in a weird way. So there is a situation, Pisces, and we obviously will take more cards and have a look. There's something here about you wanting, well, some of you might be involved with somebody who is emotionally detached. That's what I get. Pisces, and it depends obviously on the rest of your chart, but in general, Pisces is love being in love. We do. We were built for love. We're just like, we're a water sign. I don't know, we are the endless romantics. I mean, Pisces can find romance in a rock. Literally, like there are some red cliffs that I look at that I could fall in love with. I'm like, I love you. It's a very nice thing about being a Piscean, because you feel you belong in the universe because you can love all different parts of it. But when it comes to romantic relationships and stuff like that, you have a lot of friends normally as a Pisces, because you relate to people easily, you're open, you're kind of vulnerable, and you know their vulnerabilities as well. You could pick up on that. And that makes for a very, really easygoing social friendships, to be honest. But romantically, particularly if you're, and I'm thinking here of the air signs, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, and the, I was going to say the hot signs, the fire signs. The fire signs, Leo, Aries and Sag, is what I have in mind here particularly. Oh, there are troubles with that. There's obviously great excitements with that, and there are big upsides to it. But there's also this just slight tension that I'm getting. Against you being very soft and open and vulnerable in some ways, in a very beautiful way actually. And I don't mean vulnerable as in, you know, you are frail. I mean vulnerable as in you are human. And to be human is to be oh so vulnerable, isn't it? Just to be in the world. And we know this as a Piscean. I'm going to take my socks off, by the way, because I'm actually really hot. We know the human condition as Pisceans because you're 12th sign of the zodiac. So you kind of watched all the other 11. And technically, you've sort of lived through the other 11. So, okay. Some of you are in a situation where there is a distance when you would like there to be a closeness, or there is a combination of closeness and distance, which is a bit befuddling to the head. Okay. I'm just going to pick some lavender off my mermaid cloth. Is there ever a more Piscean sentence than that? I'm just going to pick some mermaid off my lavender cloth. There you go. Since Mercury went retrograde, and it's now not retrograde, I have not really been able to talk in anything other than spoonerisms. Right, okay. Now then. High Priestess. This is a very Piscean card. Major Arcana. Pisces, now and again, and I think it's now, you have to take on board your skill set. So if we were looking at a job interview for all of the star signs, you know, why are you here in this zodiac and all the rest of it? That's the role you're doing. You are the High Priestess. You know as a Pisces that you can read a room, and you know that as a Pisces you can do some pretty weird stuff when you put your mind to it. Pisces are very good at things like manifesting, meditating, daydreaming, and I mean that in a really constructive way as well. Imagining, being creative, coming up with things, feeling the vibes, all that stuff. Your situation here with the Five of Swords, with this sense of distance and this sense of fullness emotionally, there are going to be, one, you've got more sort of, and I use this word lightly really, control, because we never have real control, but you have more agency in this than you think you do. Agency being a much better word. I'm getting magician vibes even though it's not on the table, so who knows, could come up in the extended, we don't know. I'm feeling here that you know more than you think you know, which is weird because you got these two fish that are always in the opposite directions, and one of them is saying, I just don't know. And maybe you're saying this to your friends as well. This is almost like, it's channeling. I'm getting just channeled some of you. I don't know. I don't know how this person is doing X. I don't know why they just don't do Y. You know, it's so obvious to one fish and not to the other. So one fish is seeking counsel, seeking advice of friends, thinking in their head, I don't know why they do this. Why do they do this? Why do they say that and not this? Or why do they act like that and then don't text, or do text and then act like that? And the other fish isn't saying anything at all, because the other fish knows. That's it. The other fish knows. And that's your High Priestess. I love doing Pisces readings. I'd love to do more Pisces readings. I'll have to find a way. Okay, you. The Knight of Wands. Some of you dealing with a fire sign, Leo, Aries, Sagittarius. Some of you have your moon in the fire as well. When you get the Knight of Wands, it's quite a nice energy because it has a simplicity about it. And there is a sense in which something is happening before you can really think about it. It can be very sensual. It can be attraction. It can be somebody kind of, and this happens a lot with Pisceans as well, somebody who really kind of comes at you quite strong, you know, they're sort of, wow, you know, who are you? I feel for some of you, and I'm going to take another card first, but I feel like for some of you that's how something started, or you like that side of this person. It's a spontaneousness, a spontaneity, a devil may care attitude. Yeah. Hot and cold. 8 of Cups. When we get the 8 of Cups, and I'm seeing it here with the Knight of Wands, okay, which is, you know, just see this as almost like, rah, yes. Like fire sign people can be, where they're just like, who are you? It's like Joey from Friends, you know, how are you doing? And then they're here, woof. It can be a relationship that starts hot and heavy. It can be a relationship that starts passionately or just excitedly, or there's this feeling of, Ace of Cups, come on. But then we have that, which is the 8, which is walking away from something. For some of you, you're dealing here in a situation where somebody is kind of in between the Knight of Wands and the 8 of Cups. And they are vacillating or oscillating or whatever, in between. Which happens to Pisces an awful lot. We partly take accountability for it, although I don't think it's our fault per se. We don't have any boundaries as Pisceans. Look at that, she says, as pulls the 8 of Swords. It's an interesting mask. Okay. Our plus point is that we don't have any boundaries. Makes us very good Samaritans, good counsellors, good friends, good mothers, good fathers, good brothers, good sisters. But without boundaries, you're so much more vulnerable to the winds of change and other people's whims, moods. So, I thought one more card to go with that 8 of Swords. It does feel like that one. Good. The 9 of Cups. Just going to show you the cards. Hopefully they will be lined up. Look at that. What a beauty. Okay. I think I can... Oh my Lord. How autumnal and gorgeous they look as well. Okay. Eight of Swords is about being stuck in your head. You're stuck in your head about a dynamic which is proving to be really quite tricky, okay, and a bit giving you cognitive dissonance. Like you don't know if you're coming or going. It's like I don't understand this. The Nine of Cups is saying, what do you really want? And it might not be what you think, okay. And every time you try to have a boundary around this person or this relationship, you find that you come up against a brick wall, which is not the same thing as a boundary. But yes, right. Nine of Wands, okay. Nine of Wands is a boundary card, literally. It's usually in the Rider-Waite. It shows someone sort of building this fence in front of themselves. This one. Yeah, Five of Wands. Some kind of knot in your communication or misunderstanding, not being clear. I think there's a case here, Pisces, for you really needing to be very clear with somebody about what your expectations are. With the Nine of Cups, though, also being driven, High Priestess, by your heart's desires, so that you're not just thinking, well, I'm all up in my head about this. I'm thinking I need this, and I'm thinking I should have that. What do you really want? What do you really want here out of this? Because there is a need to express it. There is a need to almost conduct your own manifesto privately of what you want and what you don't want. And this Five of Wands, it's like you're not getting each other communication-wise here. You're missing each other's mark. There's a tangle. We have the King of Wands coming in. So we've had the Knight of Wands and the King of Wands. Now, I think this is air signs or fire signs, even though this is a fire card. It's a sign of confidence. It's a sign of pretty big game. You know, this person's got game big time. And that is exciting and it's attractive and it's very clear where their outline is. But at the same time, you're never going to be the same as this person because you're you. But you are going to have to dig deep with this Nine of Cups and explore what you really want and need for this Ace of Cups. Okay? What it takes to woo you, what it takes to keep you, and what it takes to meet you. We got the Six of Cups. So for some of you, this energy or this relationship has like a soul history. So it could be that you're getting, it can be like a sort of, they call it like a soul contract, don't they? Like where you've had this happen before maybe, or you've had times in your life where you're not clear on who you are and what you want, because you're a Pisces and we never are. And we don't really require that many other people to be clear on what they want because we're not that bothered by it. So unfortunately, when someone says, let's just see how it goes or whatever, we're like, yeah, I take things as they come. You know, I fly by the seat of my pants. When it comes to relationships, especially if you are, let's say you're really looking for something quite solid and you're looking to settle down in inverted commas, or you're looking for something that's kind of real. You're not wanting, you know, you're not at university, you're not wanting some sort of weird situationship to continue. First of all, you have to admit that to yourself, Pisces. And then secondly, you have to take yourself seriously and we have a lot of trouble taking ourselves seriously as fish. Six of Cups means not all of this is in your control or your agency, because there are ties in the way that this is showing up for you with this person. Goes back to childhood. For example, if you had a difficult relationship, let's just say with your father, and you are finding you are having a, let's say your father, you always had to work very hard to get his attention and it wasn't consistent. So it wandered off into different directions, or he disappeared, or he left altogether, or he died, or whatever it is. These will come up again. But what's happening in this particular relationship is that now, maybe it's because you've had this happen 3 times before. Maybe you keep meeting the same kind of person again and again. Maybe it's just that time for you, Pisces. Okay? Now, you get a chance to do something about it. It doesn't mean that you will necessarily be able to change this person if that is their entire personality and that's all they've got. But what you can change is how you show up to people and what you expect. And honestly, when that genuinely changes, the energy of who and what and how shows up changes with it. Look at that. Good old 3 of Swords. A lot of us, this is going back to childhood relationships. It can be parents, but it can also be first love. You know, our first imprint of love. So interesting. The Empress could also be to do with the mother. Whenever we get the Empress, I ask, what about the mother? No matter what your relationship is like with your mother, it's about how was she in her relationships. It's also something here to do with power, and I don't mean that in a very basic sense of power. Knight of Swords coming in at the end there. I mean it in terms of empowerment. Okay. Oh my God, I've got goosey muck goosebumps. Pisces, this is why I'm wearing my t-shirt. 8 of Wands. Dandelion clocks a go-go. OMG. Right, we got the Knight of Swords coming in at the end here. This is a message, it's talking, it's communicating and doing it damn clearly, because when you get the Knight of Swords, you are so clear about it, and you need to be. You have some help with this card, the 8 of Wands. That's so weird, isn't it? But also not weird when you're a freaky Pisces like we are. You have some help with the universe, that the seeds of conversation will, that you'll get the wind to drift, to make them drift. That was the worst sentence ever. The wind will blow and help the seeds to spread of your conversation. I don't know what happened to me, honestly, about a month ago, just lost the ability to, it's when I channel as well, it just, I'm like, blah, 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 blah. Right, okay. In the extended reading, I know exactly what I'm going to do. So we'll look at the 8 of Cups, we'll look at the Ace of Cups, we'll look at the King of Wands, we will look at the 6 and the 9 and how to go ahead with this or not, you know, how to deal with this. And also I'm going to do a bit of shadow work. We're going to look at some shadow work around the background of this and really, really drill into that 6 of Cups as well. We'll look at how do they feel about you, what is going on the other side of this. We will probably refresh our beverages and put our elasticated trousers on. So if you want that, it's the first link in the description box. I'm going to give you, the sun is playing havoc with me today. I'm going to give you an oracle card, love oracle card. Oh God, it's so weird, like, because this deck, you know, how do you know if you're going to like a deck or not? You don't, do you? And yeah, I love this deck. Boundaries. It's like, I hear you, sister, says the oracle deck. Boundaries. Okay, we're just not going to get away with it any longer. We're not going to get away with it any longer. Okay, leave me a comment, Pisces, and I'll see you on the other side. Namaste.